How's everybody doing today? This is Corey Lee's Boxing, and we are back with another banger. So please smash that like button, you guys, and subscribe. And yeah, man, I want to talk Ryan Garcia versus Oscar Duarte. Um, wow, man, it was a entertaining fight for as long as it lasted. Um, Ryan Garcia did have a lot of answers to questions to answer um, leading up into this fight, and I really think that in this fight, Garcia was trying to be focused. He was trying to stick to the game plan, um, and some of the round for some of the first 2 to 3 rounds were competitive, but I feel like Ryan Garcia, you know. Uh, he pretty much gained control, from the third or fourth on up. I think Ryan Garcia did well. He did punches and bunches. Um, and eventually, as the fight, progressed and as, Ryan Garcia kept getting more comfortable, Ryan Garcia eventually knocked out Oscar Duarte, you guys. Um, it happened in the eighth round. Um, he hurt him. Um, and the ref was like counting, and it was almost like, dude, that he's counting right in front of your face, and Oscar was just looking at him, and he waited all the way up until like count nine, you know, to try to get up. And it just didn't happen. It just didn't work. He got up too late. So they just said pretty much, they counted it as a knockout. I know a lot of people were saying, that wasn't a knockout. He could have got up. He could have did this. He could have did that. But I mean, to be honest with you guys, could he have? You know what I mean? Could he have really, got up and continued this fight? I think he was hurt. I think that Ryan Garcia definitely hurt him. Um, and Ryan Garcia has power. You guys can say what you guys want about Ryan Garcia, but Ryan Garcia definitely has power. Um, we seen that in this fight. He has power, he has range. Um, but this guy, Duarte, was, to be honest, he could have. I feel like Duarte could have did more. Definitely could have did more. I feel like he respected Ryan Garcia's power a little bit too much. Um, but I just think that Oscar has a lot to work on when it comes to defense and guys baiting him into coming forward and getting set up for shots, and that's exactly what happened in this fight. Ryan Garcia set him up, and that was pretty much all she wrote, man. Once the setup was there, man, that's all she wrote. And I really truly think that Oscar could have did a hell of a lot more. But like I said, we kept seeing it. We kept seeing the same, motions. And Ryan Garcia just set him up for a really good shot. Um, it was sort of kind of on the side of the head. Um, and it buckled him, and then Ryan Garcia just jumped on him and finished him. And then pretty much the count got up to 9 and then 10, and then right in between 9 and 10, Duarte was getting up. But it just wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough. I didn't think he wanted to continue. If you did want to continue, why didn't you get up at round? I mean, excuse me, count 7 or count 8. Why would you wait all the way until 9 to get up? To me, that's a clear indication of him not wanting to continue, in my personal opinion. I know you guys might have your own opinion about it. But if you wanted to continue, and he looked like he had his bearings with him, for the most part. I know he was still buzzed and still hurt, but if you can get up at 9, why couldn't you get up at 8? You know what I mean? If you could get up at 10, why couldn't you get up at 8? I just felt like, it's just another thing that, I guess he could, live with that. I did get up from the knockdown, but it was a devastating punch. It was devastating punches because it was a good punch that led to the uh the downward spiral of Oscar Duarte, man. Smash that like button and subscribe. Boxing matchups in the chat says salute Corey Lee, no doubt, bro. How's everything going, man? Salute, my brother. Tahoe High says, what would Garcia look like against Josh Taylor? I know it's a bit random, but I'm just curious. Okay, Josh Taylor versus Ryan Garcia, I think would be a pretty good fight. I really do. I think Josh Taylor is a skilled 140 pounder. But I still think Josh Taylor, he still has, he still I wouldn't mind seeing a Josh Taylor, versus Regis Progress rematch. If Regis can get past Devin Haney, which I know, that's a big, feat and big matchup for him. But like I said, I would love to see, Ryan Garcia in there with like a Josh Taylor, a Regis Progress, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson. Which Shakur is at 135, but for the Ryan fight, I wouldn't see it why they wouldn't make a catch weight. Um, neither one of them, who are they going to fight next? I mean, Ryan Garcia is talking about possibly fighting Rolly Romero next. I know you guys, see the headlines. Rolly Romero is a good fighter, but Rolly Romero can get set up and get stopped at any time, man. We've seen Rolly Romero get, buzzed and hurt, by an older guy in his last fight. And I just think right now, man, now is the time for Ryan Garcia to really get those marquee fights and fight some people that we really want to see him fight. We never really heard of Oscar Duarte, which I really never have. And I'm a hardcore. Oscar Duarte got this shot. I mean, I just didn't. I don't know. I just feel like Oscar Duarte, was a okay opponent. Mind you, Ryan Garcia is coming off a knockout loss where he did not get up. The same way Oscar Duarte got up late, Ryan Garcia didn't get up at all. He just kneeled down until they counted him out, pretty much. And I just think that you know once you quit like that and once you show the fans that that could possibly happen and that could possibly happen again, let's just call a spade a spade. That's going to be in the back of any fighter's mind when they go against Ryan Garcia from here on out. Can I make him quit? Can I do what Ryan, can I do what Gervonta Davis did to Ryan Garcia? Can I do that in my fight? That's what a lot of fight fans are gonna, not fight fans. We have fight fans and fighters that have to fight Ryan Garcia. They got questions. Like I said, he answered some of the questions that we had. We still want to see him in there with a bigger puncher. We want to see him in there with a better skilled fighter. And we want to see him in there with somebody that's actually going to fight back and actually going to, can actually sting and hurt him. I wouldn't mind watching, Ryan Garcia, versus Sabril Matisse. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. I think Sabril Matisse, that would be a good fight, man. This guy right here versus Ryan Garcia, you guys. He's the 140-pound champion. Um, he's got one loss. Ryan Garcia's got one loss. But the only thing about it is Matisse is 20-1 with 20 big wins by way of knockout. Okay. So he does have 20 complete knockouts. He's knocked out about 94% of the guys he's been in the ring with. I mean, his KO ratio is off the chain. And he's on a crazy KO streak as well. Being that he's knocked out every opponent, the last 10, 15 fights. I would love to see him versus Ryan Garcia. That's an awesome matchup. Tahoe High in the chat says all the lightweights are still so young. Yeah. Former lightweights. Yeah. I mean, you got lightweights like Shakur Stevenson and Javante Tank Davis that are still in lightweight, and then you got junior welterweights like Ryan Garcia that's in the junior welterweight weight class. He's at 140, and I don't see Ryan Garcia going back down to 135. I think he's at 140 to stay. I think Ryan Garcia, I think he can listen. Ryan Garcia is a promotable fighter. He sells, we can say what we want to say about Ryan Garcia, but he puts asses in seats, and we all know that. We all know that Ryan Garcia can put an ass in a seat and can do, some of the things that we think he can do with top tier fighters. But we got to see him in there with the top tier fighters. When he fights guys like Oscar Duarte and knocks him out, it's really not telling us a whole lot other than he can, he still possesses that knockout punch at 140, and this was a catch weight that I believe Ryan weighed in at 143 and Duarte weighed in at 142, which was super weird. There was some speculations of Ryan Garcia not being able to make weight at 140. I'm gonna be honest, Ryan Garcia, and then some, there's been some chatter about Ryan Garcia. How disciplined is Ryan Garcia with Derek James? Derek James is a really good trainer. He's trained the likes of Earl Spence Jr., uh, Jamel Charlo, uh, and Frank Martin. I mean, you guys got to understand those three guys right there alone are, top tier guys, for sure. I know a lot of you guys didn't like what you seen out of Jamel Charlo in the Canelo fight, and I didn't either. I thought he was gonna go for it. I thought he was gonna, go for the gusto. I thought that he would come forward more and push the pace, but he was respecting Canelo all the way to the last bell, man. I think him just lasting in there, I think that was a win for him. I know a lot of you like, man, that's not a win. He lost, a lot of the rounds and all this stuff. And, some guys had it, 10-2. Some guys had it 8-4. Um, to me, the Jamel Charlo versus Canelo wasn't a close fight. Derek James, he's a good trainer, but what can he do with Ryan Garcia? That's the big question. That's the $1 million question. Can Derek James make Ryan Garcia an elite fighter at 140 pounds? That is a $1 million question. And to be honest, right now, man, I'm not sure if he can. I'm not sure if he can, man. If Ryan Garcia were to get in there right, if Ryan Garcia were to get in the ring next week with Cyril Matisse, okay, Matisse that just fought, okay, on Showtime's last card on the David Benavidez Demetrius Andre undercard, okay. If he were to fight him, mind you, he's the IBF champion at 140. Mind you, Ryan Garcia is campaigning at 140 pounds, and he says he does want to fight champions, so you can't just hand pick guys out here, which a lot of fighters have done lately. But I would love to see, Matisse versus Ryan Garcia. That would be an awesome fight. Ryan Garcia versus Teofimo Lopez. That would be an awesome fight. And I'm not mad at Rolly Romero versus Ryan Garcia because I think if Ryan Garcia, which I would favor him to beat Rolly Romero, if he could possibly get that knockout win, I think that boosts Ryan Garcia's stock a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie. If he could get the stoppage win over Rolly Romero, I think that really, really helps his career. I really do. Um, you know, Smash that like button and subscribe. Tower High says once you do something, then doing it again becomes easier. No doubt. 913 Boxer says at this point, I think Rolly would be competitive with Ryan, not saying Rolly would win. No, I understand that fully, man. Right now, I'm favoring Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero. Rolly Romero leaves himself open to too many shots. I mean, he's gotten hit numerous times in the face, clean shots. And I think from a fighter like Ryan Garcia, he'll make you pay. He'll make you pay. I think he has enough respectable power um, to just keep Rolly Romero honest. And what I mean by that is, not coming in lunging, with wild shots and shit like that. I think Ryan Garcia, with that good jab that he has, and he needs to work on that more. I think that jab can really help Ryan Garcia's, fight, hit some of his fights out. I think it'll help him, especially the big fights, like the Devin Haney's, the Rolly Romero's, the you know, Teofimo Lopez. Shit, I wouldn't mind seeing a Lomachenko versus Ryan Garcia. That would be dope. Um, but right now, man, it's looking like Rolly Romero versus Ryan Garcia could possibly be next year. Um, Rolly Romero saying he wants it. Ryan Garcia saying he wants it. Um, can they make a deal? Rolly Romero, the last time I checked, he was with PBC and Al Heyman. The last time I checked, Al Heyman and Golden Boy, which Ryan Garcia is under Golden Boy. The last time I checked, they don't do good business. I'm just being honest. I mean, it's it's just shit that's actually just been happening, man. I mean, you guys got to understand, Rolly Romero has been talking a whole lot of game and a whole lot of stuff, about fighting Ryan Garcia. And I think Ryan Garcia wants to shut up Rolly. I think Ryan Garcia wants to shut Rolly up. I think Ryan Garcia wants to really show Rolly Romero, like, look, man, we both lost to Gervonta Tank Davis, but I'm actually better than you. I'm actually better than you. And I'm going to show the world, you showing a lot of people these sparring wars that we had. And, you're showing everybody that, I've been in the ring with you sparring. You're showing sparring tapes. And that's another thing. When you start showing sparring tapes, who wants to spar you after that? Like, who would want to get in the ring with you not knowing if this shit is going to go viral tomorrow? I mean, because that's how some of these younger guys are playing it. They're like, oh, I got the tape of this, or I got the tape of that, I got the tape of this. But between Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero, we've all heard that those sparring between both of these guys were very intense. Very intense, very menacing punches. I don't think that Rolly was holding back on some of those punches. I think he had those punches at least a 90 to 95%, punch rate. If you were to rate it, on a 0 to 100, I think he was trying to knock Ryan Garcia's head off. That's just, I don't know. It sounds like they got, a little bit of animosity between each other. Like I said, they go back and forth so much at each other on social media and other media outlets. Um, both of these guys have been destined to fight each other, and now that both of these guys, Rolly's coming off of that, iffy win versus the 40-year-old, and Ryan Garcia is coming off of a, eighth round stoppage, aka ice season, with Oscar Duarte. And I just want to see what's next. I want to see, can Ryan Garcia shut Rolly Romero the fuck up? Because after Gervonta Davis knocked out Rolly Romero still didn't shut up. He's still talking this shit. Shout out to 913 Boxer. He says PBC doesn't play well with others. LOL. Facts. I can't agree with you more, man. And I don't blame him. You build your fighters up. You take that. You guys got to understand, man. To build a fighter up, a lot of these fighters, their first 20 fights, 15 fights, they got paid at least $100,000. Some of these blue chip prospects, if not more. You're gonna get $100,000, type of budget for your first 10 to 15 fights. meaning that you can make that much in that spirit span of time. But I'm gonna be honest, man. Ryan Garcia, you know, has got to be yearning for the big fights. This wasn't on pay-per-view. Um, and I want to see if Ryan Garcia can get that type of fighter where he can be back on pay-per-view. I wouldn't mind seeing Ryan Garcia back on pay-per-view, but we got to see that fight. Is that Rolly Romero versus Ryan Garcia? Is that pay-per-view worthy? I mean, I would have to say yes, but do you want to pay for that though? Toby in the chat, salute. He says, salute Corey Lee in the chat. Hope you're good, my brother. Yes, sir, man. You already know, man. I'm A1. I'm awesome, man. I'm gonna start having live streams around this time, you guys, every night. I'm gonna try to keep this thing going. New topic each and every night around this time. Because, who else is giving you guys, late night, early morning live streams? Nobody. You know, nobody's up right now. Nobody's nobody's definitely not talking about boxing at 4 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, 4:30 a.m. Eastern time. You know what I mean? That's what it's looking like on my clock. Shout out to you guys from Nigeria, Canada, you know, Europe, Saudi Arabia, wherever you're listening at Corley Boxing, salute. But yeah, man, Ryan Garcia, his next opponent is looking like Rolly Romero. We guys know Rolly Romero is a good fighter, but boxing is a sport of what have you done for me lately? And Rolly Romero's last fight, they say you're only as good as your last fight. Rolly Romero's last fight, he looked. Some say he looked like complete dog shit. I'm gonna just be honest with you. I'm not gonna go as far as saying that, but I'm gonna just say that Rolly Romero has a lot to work on, especially in the boxing ring. You're not gonna be able to knock everybody out with just one punch. You keep loading up, it's gonna eventually cost you because eventually you're not gonna be able to knock out everybody that you're in the ring with, and the one guy you're not gonna be able to knock out, the belt's gonna be on the line, and then you're gonna get screwed because at the end of the day, once they go to the judges' scorecards, Rolly Romero has 1 or 2 rounds in the bank. This is a 12-round championship fight. So that's why I said Rolly Romero really has to work on his, ring generalship. And he needs to work on his jab, his footwork. And, overall, man, can Bullet really, get the job done, when he needs to? We know that, Rolly Romero has won against fighters he was supposed to win against. Barely won against this, 40-year-old. He was supposed to win that and barely got by him. So right now, man, if you're Ryan Garcia, you're looking at Rolly Romero like you're fucking dog food, dude. I'm running straight through you. You got to, man. You got look how he looked at with the 40-year-old in the ring. I mean, he looked like he was literally trying to survive in there towards the end of the fight. I mean, the 40-plus-year-old was just whooping his butt, from pillar to post, and it was a rough fight. It was a really rough fight for Rolly Romero. Toby in the chat says it's 9:28 a.m. UK time, Corey Lee. LOL. Show for real, man. It's I'm telling you, man, it's 4:32 a.m. Eastern time where I'm at. Toby's in the UK. Shout out to all my UK listeners. And yeah, man, I mean, Ryan, like I said, right now, Ryan Garcia's next fight is going to be a big fight. There's no two ways about it. Ryan Garcia's next fight is going to be a big fight. I know it is. That Rolly Romero fight is a big fight. Both of these guys are going to talk massive shit. We all know Rolly Romero can sell a fight. And he'll go for it. That's the one thing about Rolly Romero that we don't have to question. Will he go for it or not? Yes, he will go for it. And what I mean by going for it is he'll go for the knockout, even if it's not there. I mean, he'll literally go for the knockout. And that's why a lot of fight fans love Rolly Romero, because he's an action-packed fighter most of the time. I'm not gonna say all the time, but most of the time he's an action-packed fighter, and he talks a lot of shit. And people want to see him shut up. People want to see, can you shut him up? Gervonta Davis definitely shut him up, but it was only brief. He's back talking shit again, and he's back. He's back on Rolly shit. Toby says Rolly lost, in my opinion, to a guy that's 105 years old, and he didn't want to face O'Hara Davis. Damn. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, man. Rolly definitely didn't look good in his last fight. So a lot of people say he lost his last fight. So I know he wants to, Rolly has a lot to prove as well. So he's gonna be coming in there guns blazing if he's focused. But Rolly, for all intents and purposes, man, he got broke off pretty nice, man, in that Gervonta Davis fight. You fight Gervonta Davis, man, you're gonna get some M's for sure. They're saying Ryan Garcia, made about $30 million in that, Gervonta Tank Davis fight. Um, Smash that like button if you guys are just coming in. Let's definitely get these likes up. Like I said, we're gonna be doing these live streams around this time. Um, you know, for the next, couple weeks, you guys. So every day I'm gonna try to come in here at least Monday through Sunday through Thursday. I'm gonna at least try to give you guys these type of live streams. Um, but yeah, 913 Boxer in the chat says, how I wonder how many more fights Ryan has on Golden Boy. I'm gonna just tell you right now. Rumor is that Ryan Garcia is not signed, not just until 2024. Rumor is Ryan Garcia is signed with Golden Boy. Is going to be fighting under the Golden Boy banner until 2026. Okay, yeah, you guys heard that right, man. Ryan Garcia is tapped to be possibly fighting for Golden Boy, barring a lawsuit or barring, he gets bought out of his contract until 2026. I really feel like right now, man, Ryan Garcia is keeping Golden Boy afloat. Ryan Garcia is paying Golden Boy, bills right now. Bills are due at the end of the month. Ryan Garcia is paying them. He's putting the asses in seats, and I think in his next fight, this was his comeback fight, so it was okay. But like I said, boxing is what have you done for me lately? It's a what have you done for me lately sport. So I really want to see what Ryan Garcia can do. Like I said, I think he's gonna fight either Pitbull Cruz or Rolly Romero. But mind you, both guys, I believe Pitbull Cruz is with PBC, or he was with PBC, and we all know that Rolly Romero is with PBC and Al Heyman. So, will Golden Boy and PBC be willing to come together for this Rolly Romero versus Ryan Garcia fight? That is the question that we got to ask ourselves. You know, will Ryan Garcia, you know, and will Ryan Garcia show out if they are able to make the fight? Will he be able to show out? Will he be able to get these flashy knockdowns and flashy knockouts like he does with a lot of other guys? Will he be able to get that with Rolly? Rolly's a big 140 pounder. He was a big 135 pounder. So I would love to see the fight. I'm not mad at the fight. And yeah, man. 30 minutes of pure fire, you guys. I'm gonna head out in a minute. I just wanted to tell you guys, thank you guys so much for watching this live stream. Like I said, I'm gonna try to go 30 minutes each and every time at least. But yeah, man, it's time to get some shut eye. I appreciate all you guys and women, for supporting the channel. If you guys want to donate, you can donate to Corley Boxing on Cash App. Thank you guys so much for watching, man. Yeah, man, we want to see Ryan Garcia in there with the best. So hopefully his next fight will be with the best, or close to the best. You know, I'm not gonna say Rolly Romero is the best at 140 pounds because I think he's far from it, but I think it's a good fight. I think it'll put asses in the seats, and that's what it's all about. It's all about selling and you know promoting. Promoting these guys to the top tier level that we think they can be at. And Ryan Garcia, if promoted right, you know, I think he can still be a superstar. Well, he's already a superstar. I just think he could still be very, very good as a boxer, you know, if he can dial in and him and Derek James can work that out. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Please smash that like button and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow, man. Be here 4 a.m. Eastern time, okay? 4 a.m. Eastern time. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Corley Boxing. You definitely been hit with another banger.